You smell that? That's the smell of freedom. Men are finally getting it. If you are moving away from the manosphere, if you've escaped the clutches of the red pill, you are not weak, you are not woke, you are not soft. If anything, bro, round of applause. You're changing your life for the better. You did it, boys. Like, a lot of y'all are waking up. A lot of y'all are free. Free to be whatever kind of man you want to be. This video is about figuring out who you are as a man once you let the internet stop telling you who to be. Because we can talk about the red pill all day, the influencers all day, but y'all don't need another breakdown of the thing that made y'all miserable. This is a solution-based channel. We solve issues over here. Also, this video has little to nothing to do with women because I'm talking to men. Okay. None of that behavior that we saw in the red pill was new. None of that started with YouTube or podcasts.
I'm going to come over and hug you. Not just because you need it. I'll come down further. Maybe I need it too. No pity pat me. Hug tight.
We've been raising entire generations of men to associate their worth with dominance and performance. A whole generation of men starving for a closeness they have no idea how to create.
I'm a smart girl.
Well, would you admit it if you weren't?
Would I admit? Yeah.
I'm stupid.
Fast forward to now, add social media, add dating apps. All that shit did was make it 16:9 and trendy. We still have no role models, no sense of brotherhood, no initiation into adulthood, no functional dating practices, and no place for men to fail. We don't even trust each other. So before we start, we gotta be honest. This is a judgment-free zone. I know y'all won't judge me. Most men didn't join the red pill because they hated women. Some of y'all did, and y'all lame as fuck. Most men picked it up because they were lonely, confused, and embarrassed to admit that they were hurting. So in that chaos, to some men, the red pill offered what seemed to be something that was crystal clear. Rules that explained everything. And it was valid. Like, some of these dudes were teaching people how to wash their ass, stay motivated in the gym, work-life balance, finances, discipline. But like all things that go viral on the internet, it got monetized. Because what is merch gonna do for the 1 in 5? So, when a bunch of dusty ass niggas are trying to sell you a dream so they can pay for theirs, of course the red pill bubble is gonna pop. Most of these dudes are either in jail, married, or basically been caught red-handed doing the shit that they've been telling us not to do. We got duped. We blew it. We fell for it. And that's okay. Again, this isn't new, bro. Psychologists have been saying this shit since the 90s. That masculinity without community becomes survival. Survival without support becomes ideology. Ideology without questioning becomes identity. And once an identity is formed, it is extremely hard to change. But that change is still happening. A lot of dudes are pulling through, which is great. So now we got to talk about what comes next. Quick note, I never really bought into that ideology, but I really did feel for the people that did. I saw some of my friends fall for that shit. I just never could get into it because fundamentally it just didn't make sense. Everything it was based on, everything it stood for was one big contradiction. Like, have y'all seen the movie, The Matrix? Spoiler alert, it's like 30 years old. The reason why niggas was taking the red pill was to combat their robot oppressors for the betterment of mankind, like men and women. But here's the thing that people aren't telling you about leaving the red pill. Once you left behind that ideology, like, that is not the finish line. That is the beginning. You can't just remove an identity. You have to replace it. And if you don't replace it with something healthy, with something real, that emptiness is going to drag you right back down. It's not about filling a hole. It's about rebuilding the whole. Rebuilding what masculinity means to you, not what somebody on a podcast told you. So if you're trying to unlearn all the noise and find some direction, let's talk about that. Let's talk about how we get from point A to point B being a better man. Number one, you gotta start working on those insecurities, bro. This is your foundation, not only as a man, but as a person. Low self-esteem, emotional avoidance, shame, jealousy, all that comes from wounds that were never addressed. That resentment you have for women, that resentment you have for the unfairness of the world, that heaviness in your chest that you don't like to talk about, that shit is not permanent. Like, you can change that, but you can't address it if you refuse to look inward. Because that refusal, that stubbornness, that like unwillingness to change, that's the mindset that got you stuck in the red pill in the first place. Money and muscles are cool, but you need gains in here. Tackling your insecurities is a heavy task. Most of us got made fun of when we were 13 and we never looked back. So we're talking like 15, 20 years, bro, of just internalized pain. I work with all kinds of dudes and I have them all start at the same place. Journaling. This is the best way to start understanding yourself and your emotions. Like, don't read my shit, but you don't need a diary. You just need a journal. You don't even need this. You just need pen and paper. Start writing shit down. It doesn't even have to make sense. Once a week, write down one thing you felt and why. I'm gonna keep saying this. My homie said something funny today and it really made me laugh because boom, journal entry. It can be quick. Just journal. I don't care how you do it. You can take notes on your phone. Just start to understand yourself and your emotions on a fundamental level, uninterrupted. Uninterrupted by anybody else, by the noise of a podcast. Otherwise, you're gonna let somebody else decide what kind of man you are again. And we're not doing that anymore. Y'all niggas gotta read. Some of y'all haven't read a book cover to cover since high school. And I don't blame you because phones exist, but you are missing out. You can't just read Atomic Habits one time and call it a day. You can't just read 48 Laws of Power, my nigga. You gotta read other stuff. There's millions of other books for you out there. Real growth happens when you read to understand. Not to prove a point, not to perform, not to impress nobody else. Read for context, read for nuance, read to question things instead of react. You should want to learn how systems shape behavior and how they affect you. And yeah, I'm sorry, but that means the patriarchy. That means capitalism. That means media. That means politics. That means psychology. You should be learning what real research is. You should be learning how to spot propaganda so you don't fall for it again. Like, you need to know the difference between an academic journal and a peer-reviewed study. Read some radical literature while you're at it, bro. Get woke, like the good kind. And don't stop there. Like, read some fiction too. You'd be shocked how much empathy, perspective, and emotional intelligence come from these stories. Read all kinds of shit. Ingest as many perspectives of masculinity as you can. Engage with these things. It's fun. It's nice. People like nice things. You like nice things. Read nice things. Anything you want. I don't know, bro. Read the Odyssey. We gotta make reading and learning fun again. We need more dudes who ask questions. We need more dudes who pay attention to where their information is coming from. That's not political, bro. That's being a member of a society. Can't be out here looking dumb. Gotta expand, bro. Because once you expand your mind, so does your worldview. And that's when you stop being manipulated. It's a win-win. Read. Next is hobbies. What do you do? What do you like to do? I don't think a lot of dudes realize how much of their life is actually on autopilot. A lot of us just work, school, gym, home, sleep, repeat. Maybe throw in a little porn. Eventually, bro, that doesn't feel like living anymore. Locked in a routine that isn't stimulating. Plus, your phone's probably eating all your attention. Engage with things that matter to you, man. You need something to look forward to. You think I make these videos to get paid, bro? I do this shit because I like it. Try things, pick hobbies, take a class, do things so you're not numbing yourself with content. Touching grass was never meant to feel forced. Enjoy stuff without turning it into a competition or a grind. You don't have to be the best at it, but do it because you want to do it. Regardless of what your homeboys think, we just need to be engaged with the world so we don't get lost again. Plus, a man with interest is a man with a life. And a man with a life has way less room for things that are going to keep him stuck. We need actual role models. Like, who do you look up to right now? Future? Ben Shapiro? Logan Paul? Andrew fucking Tate? Role models should embody mostly honorable traits. Traits that you find important. We all need role models, but in the age of digital media, we tend to confuse people I watch with people I want to become like. It's not the same thing. Look, I get it. We love our creators. I love Berlizzi, Easy Gang in this thing. I love Corey. They're amazing, positive men, but they're not raising you. They do what they do for your entertainment. And I don't even think they want the pressure of being a moral compass. That's not what they do. I watch them a lot, but I understand that those are not my primary sources for learning how to navigate the world. Enjoy your content, do what you gotta do to stay sane, enjoy your little video game retrospectives. But while you're online, check out other educators and thinkers. People that are also progressing men forward. People like Ava and Preach. Deontay Kyle on the Grits and Eggs podcast, the Jam podcast. Young Don Reacts. Shout out Young Don Reacts. React to this video. Young Don Reacts. Mark Lamont Hill. Mehdi Hassan. Chris Williamson. I don't know. I think the person helping guide your growth probably shouldn't be fighting a legal case. You shouldn't have slept with a minor. Look for people who teach, not manipulate. People who challenge you instead of use you. But don't just look online, like look in real life too. How about your dad? And if your dad is a piece of shit, how about your brother? If you don't have a brother, cousin, uncle, a coach who cared, a teacher that kept it real, a boss who, believe it or not, treated everybody cool. Look for people who have lived through the consequences of their actions, not people who have live streamed them. Lastly, you gotta clean house, bro. You gotta make sure that your community is solid. That means rejecting lame, hateful, and harmful ideology within your circles. You don't need to be Captain America. Just don't let that shit slide. Homophobia, sexism, racism, that stuff is rarely an actual joke. Like, you know what a joke is, bro. You know what a joke is. And some shit just shouldn't be joked about, and you know what the fuck I'm talking about. A simple, ew, gross. Relax. That's all you gotta do. Shut that shit down. Because if you're cool with that, then you're not cool. You're a bum, and you're co-signing behavior that is keeping men stuck at the bottom of their potential, and you are part of the problem. There's no other way around that. Like, how many of y'all watch these red pill niggas go crazy? They say the crazy things that they say because nobody ever checked them. Nobody checks them. And now they're monsters, bro. It doesn't make you sensitive for calling that shit out. Because the company you keep is either going to keep building you or it's going to bury you. You instantly become a better man the moment you stop accepting harm as a form of entertainment. Not because you're perfect, but because of the tone you are setting in the spaces around you. Masculinity should feel like breathing, bro, not holding your breath. Call that shit out. That's it for now, though. If you clicked on this video, if you watched this video, I'm not even gonna ask you to subscribe yet. But like, I want to acknowledge that you're doing your part. Masculinity doesn't need to be violent. It doesn't need to be cold. It doesn't need to be a villain. You don't need a villain arc. Bro, how about a hero arc? Why doesn't anybody want to be a hero? Save the day. The journey out of the red pill is not about rejecting masculinity. It's about reclaiming the most authentic parts of it. It's about redefining and about deciding what kind of man you want to be. And if you've made it this far, you are doing better than you think.